Colorado is recognized.
Madam Speaker, House Resolution 107 provides for consideration of the Senate amendment to H.R. 2, the Children's Health Insurance Program Reauthorization Act of 2009. I rise in support of House Resolution 107, the Children's Health Insurance Program Reauthorization Act. I again wish to thank Speaker Pelosi, who's been an unrelenting champion on this important issue. I also want to thank Chairman Rangel and Chairman Dingell for sponsoring bills that were vetoed in the 110th Congress, and Chairman Waxman and all of my colleagues for their leadership on this issue in this Congress, and I want to recognize everyone's efforts to bring this bill to where it is today. Although I've begun my House service only a few weeks ago, I've received hundreds of letters from constituents who have serious concerns about health care costs and coverage. Too common is the story of a hard-working, low-income moms and dads forced to choose between buying groceries and visiting their family doctor. I've heard from those who've either lost their health care coverage or fear that they will lose it because they simply can't afford it. I've heard from parents who are denied necessary health care by their insurers. As a result, their children are suffering too. I've heard from caregivers who've been laid off, losing not only their health coverage but their children's as well. This is a serious problem that we can no longer afford to ignore. No longer can we lay the blame at the front door of the White House with the change in administration. We can ensure that this legislation passes the House today and reaches the President's desk as soon as possible. With our approval, President Obama has indicated he will sign this bill into law today and change the lives of millions of children and families. Delay is simply not an option. A large majority of Americans of all political persuasions support this important bill. It's a fiscally responsible way to not only extend the number of children in our nation who receive health care, but to improve the quality of that care. This bill relieves the burden of taxpayers who currently subsidize millions of costly and inefficient uninsured emergency room visits. By encouraging preventative care for children who lack insurance today, we can actually reduce costs from the system and provide healthier outcomes for young people. This bill is just common sense. Given the nation's skyrocketing health care costs coupled with our current economic challenges, it's an investment where the return is a generation of healthy, happy, productive Americans. This legislation would provide health care coverage for more than 11 million children nationally. Tomorrow morning, 170,000 children in my home state of Colorado will wake up without health insurance. That's 170,000 too many. This bill will change that terrible statistic for the better by giving states the vital tools needed to reach out to uninsured children who are eligible for SCHIP and Medicaid but not yet enrolled. This is not only critical to Colorado but to all our states and territories. Madam Speaker, the epidemic of the uninsured is not just a consequence of our struggling economy, it's a component of it. Under a new administration, with the political will of this new Congress, we have the power to set this particular wrong right. A healthy economy is supported by healthy people. Providing health care insurance for millions of uninsured Americans is an important beginning to keeping our people and our economy healthy. But it is just a beginning. Protecting the health of our nation's young children is of paramount importance to society and the security of our nation. A recent military study reveals that 1/3 of American teenagers are incapable of passing a basic physical test. This legislation will help give every child a chance at a healthy start. With rising unemployment, a battered economy, and more layoffs coming every day, the plight of the uninsured is likely to only get worse. Next month, Madam Speaker, SCHIP will expire. Our failure today would add millions of children to the rolls of the uninsured. To me, to my constituents, and hopefully to my colleagues as well, this is unacceptable. Today we have an opportunity to protect millions of children across the nation who don't have a voice and to safeguard their future. I urge you to vote for this legislation. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman